أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم أما بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لقد كان لكم في رسول الله أسوة حسنة لمن كان يرجو الله واليوم الآخر وذكر الله كثيرا صدق الله العظيم وصدق رسوله النبي الكريم. Every Muslim, according to his condition, he knows the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, either in detail or in a short way. But every Muslim, he has a picture in his mind of the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Even before being made a prophet, if we look at the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then that life, which is not a life of prophethood, the revelation where he had not started to come up till the age of 40, but even then, if we look in the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it's a guideline for us, and guideline and showing a path for every type of person, a child, a youth, a young person. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was born in Makkah Sharif, and he was born, and even before his birth, his father, Hazrat Abdullah, passed away. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was born yatim, orphan. In today's world, if a person is born yatim, meaning his father is passed away even before his birth, then is counted to be at a disadvantage. Because usually the father who brings him up and who looks after him and who trains him, educates him. So if there is no father, then usually the child is counted to be at a disadvantage. Secondly, Rasulullah's mother was Amina. It was a custom of the Arabs, especially those people who lived in cities, that when a child was born in the house, the mothers, they would not milk feed the child. There would be village women who would come and take the children, and they would keep them by themselves in the villages out of the city. They would milk feed them and they would bring them up. That was their custom, because the village life was counted to be more better than city life. The atmosphere, the air, the language, everything, it was counted to be better in village rather than cities. So the people of the cities, they would give their small suckling babies to these women who would come from outside, and they would take the children and keep by them up till age of 2, which is the age of milk feeding. And in return, they would be given some remuneration, money. So that was the system. So the clan from Banu Sa'd, who used to live in Hunain, they came to Makkah Sharif, the women, and they spread in Makkah Sharif searching for a child to take. So they would try to look for such a family, which was a wealthy family, who would give a good return for keeping their child. So they would go around and ask, is there any child born in any family of the Quraysh? And when they would be informed, they would go to that house and they would try to take that child. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was also born. So the women came to learn that in the house of Abdullah, he had passed away, his grandfather, Hazrat Abdul Muttalib, that in the house of Abdul Muttalib a child has been born. So the women would come and they would ask for the child. But when they would learn that he's orphan, he has no father, then no one would be prepared to take the child, because in those days it was not the custom for the women to go out and work and earn. It was the man's duty to earn and sustain the family and look after the family. So when they would learn that this child does not have a father, so the mother, she was not an earning woman, she would not be able to give much reward and return on that. So they were not prepared to take Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam on the account he is orphan, meaning he is in a poor family. So from here we can learn that another disadvantage was that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was orphan and he was born in a poor family. Because of that, no one was prepared to take him. On the other hand, all the women who came, they found a child, but among them there was a woman, Hazrat Halima. She was also looking for a child, but she was a very weak woman, very thin woman, so that naturally the poor people who will give their child to woman, they will also look, will this woman be able to feed our child or not? Is she healthy or not? Is she strong or not? And usually woman has milk in her breast when she gives birth to a child herself. Without that, the milk does not come in her breast. So she already had child, but she herself was very, very weak and very in a thin state. So the people of Mecca who are children, when they looked at this woman, they would not give their child to this woman because of her healthy state, that when she is not in a good health, how she will be able to feed our child. So this occurred that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, no one was prepared to take him because he was orphan. And on the other hand, Hazrat Halima, because of his lack of health and weakness, no one was prepared to give her a child. So they had camped outside Makkah Sharif. Every woman, they found a child and they started to feed the child in the hope of a good reward. But Hazrat Halima, she did not get a child. She said to her husband that it doesn't seem good that every woman, they will go with a child and I go empty-handed. It's embarrassment for me. So I'm going to take that orphan child. Allah will give barakat in that. The husband gave her permission. She came to Hazrat Amina and she asked for the child. Hazrat Amina, because that was their custom, that outside women would feed. So Hazrat Amina gave Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to Hazrat Halima. She brought him, Rasulullah sallallahu to a camp. They were camping outside Makkah Sharif. And soon as she brought Rasulullah with her, she started to see the barakat of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that her breasts, they became full with milk, so much milk that the real son, he managed to drink the milk of her mother. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam also managed to drink from the breast of Hazrat Halima. That was the first barakat they saw. Secondly, Hazrat Halima's husband, he went to the goat to milk the goat, and to their surprise, the goat gave so much milk that everybody drank and they had a comfortable night. So they realized from there that, and the husband said to Hazrat Halima, Halima, it seems you brought a very blessed child. Halima said, I also hope same. So then they started to go to their clan village, Banu Sa'd. So they were riding on donkeys. So the donkey, it was weak also because it was a drought and famine time. Everyone was affected, and this family was affected especially more. But the donkey also on which Rasulullah was riding with his milk-feeding mother, the Halima, it also became so strong that it made all the other mounts behind, and so they started to see the barakat of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When they reached their village, their clan, then Hazrat Halima's goats, they would go for grazing. The other people's goats also would go for grazing. But Hazrat Halima's goats, they would come back, stomach full. While the other people's goats, they would come back hungry because of lack of grass, lack of grazing land. So nevertheless, this is how the beginning life of Rasulullah started. Rasulullah stayed with Hazrat Halima for 2 years, which was a normal period. And they saw the barakat of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in this period of 2 years. So 2 years was time to bring the child back to their mother. So Hazrat Halima came back to Makkah Sharif with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to return the child. But since they had seen the blessings and barakat of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they wanted to keep Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they made request to Hazrat Amina to give them Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they will look after him. So Hazrat Amina gave permission, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam stayed by Hazrat Halima up till the age of 5, which was abnormal. Usually after 2 years the children are returned back. But because of the blessing that Halima and her husband saw from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they kept Rasulullah with them up till the age of 5. At the age of 5, they returned Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to Hazrat Halima. When Rasulullah reached the age of 6, Hazrat Halima also passed away. So father passed away before his birth, and mother passed away when Rasulullah was 6 years of age, 6 of child. He does not have any understanding anything. No father, no mother. So Rasulullah's grandfather, Hazrat Abdul Muttalib, he took custody of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he loved Rasulullah very much. He looked after Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and always kept him. He was a leader of the Quraysh, was leader of Makkah Sharif, Abdul Muttalib. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was in the custody of Hazrat Abdul Muttalib. But at the age of 8, when Rasulullah reached the age of 8, Hazrat Abdul Muttalib also passed away. So the very near people who usually look after a child, one by one, all of them passed away. When he passed away, Hazrat Abdul Muttalib, he made Hazrat Abu Talib responsible over Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Abdul Muttalib, he had 12 sons, but out of all these sons, Abu Talib, he was a real brother of Hazrat Abdullah, father of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Meaning Abdul Muttalib, he was father of all the sons, but the mothers were different. But the mother of Abu Talib and Hazrat Abdullah, they were same also. So Abdul Muttalib, he gave the responsibility of looking after Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to Abu Talib. Inshallah, we'll take it from there next time. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanakallah wa bihamdika, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.